Welcome to Monkey Talk, brought to you by
The Bald Monkeys Wrestling Podcast.
Last off, never stop.
Hey! Welcome back, everybody on Twitch watching. We have myself, I'm still here. We changed out of our Halloween costumes. Bobby, if you didn't know, Chris and I were dressed up in Halloween garb earlier. We've changed into normal, everyday clothes right now. But
I kind of want to put it back on now.
You just want to put your hair back on, dude.
I do want to put my hair back on.
But anyway, on the phone with us tonight, video's not going to work because there's a freaking hurricane going through the southeast area of the U.S. There's trees down. There was a blackout during the event that Bobby was at, but we have the newly crowned ACW Cruiserweight champion. He's driving now. His name is Bobby Flaco. Welcome to the Bald Monkeys podcast.
Welcome, yo. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it, dude. You guys are cool. A lot of really cool guys have done your stuff and speak highly of you. So,
thank you.
I'm stoked.
We're excited to have you, excited to talk, and hopefully we can keep you company here on your drive.
And be safe too. And be safe.
Be safe, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I got a good companion here with me, keeping me company. So
there you go.
We're gonna make it. Yo, it's all blackout. Like I'm driving through the streets of Atlanta, and it's just there's nobody got lights except for like the stores might got generators and stuff, but all these neighborhoods don't got lights.
And this wasn't even like a big storm. This was just the residual of the storm after it hit. So these things are scary. Yeah, you be careful and then make sure you take your time. There's no rush.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure. We'll get there when we get there.
Exactly.
I'm sure I gotta check out the crib and see how the farm is. I'm sure there's some fence damage and something.
There's always something to do, unfortunately, but at least if everything's in good shape, it'll be a good time. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Val, for the bits. Val Pancakes in the house while we sit here with Bobby. And Bobby, we're going to start where we start with everybody and all of our guests. We want to find out a little more about how you started as a young Bobby Flaco. So what was young Bobby Flaco like?
Like young, like in wrestling, or just young, you know what I mean?
Young.
Just
like
young.
You growing up. Know about you growing up.
Young growing up, man. I grew up, my family always was like involved with horses and dirt bikes and stuff. And I actually learned Spanish with like the people working on the farm and stuff like that from like a young age. I didn't like learn it like that, but I was like, we would just hang out and shoot BB guns and shit like that. And I wasn't really into riding horses and stuff like that. So like I would just work on the farm with them. Like I would be however old I was, just carrying all the horses with them and just chilling. So, and then after that, I wrestled in high school and stuff like that. So that kind of translates to nowadays.
So you're talking like real wrestling in high school, but what kind of wrestling memories do you have as a kid? Like first seeing entertainment wrestling?
Dude, the first, like maybe not the most significant, but the first would have been like the video games. Like the video games are what kind of made me be, for whatever reason, you know what I mean? And I guess video games like all the way back to like WCW on the Nintendo. Like
nice.
Those, I don't know why, even more so, I guess being on a video game even more so than being on a TV show made me like, dang, these guys are rock stars for real, or whatever a little kid version of a rock star is,
Who was your favorite wrestler to use in that video game?
In that video game, I guess the one who stands out to me now is probably like Goldberg or Sting. But that's not entirely when I got like obsessed, like when I really, really got into wrestling. But that's just like my first memory, you know. But from there, probably Sting or Goldberg, if I can even. I never ended up watching a whole bunch of WCW. I watched more WWE, but
Gotcha.
yeah, those two stood out to me from that.
All right, so let's talk about obsession because you mentioned it. So
Yeah.
who was your obsession? Who was really getting your eye when it came to
I wanted to be
favorite
like
wrestler?
Eddie, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Nice.
Yeah, for sure. That was like I remember like I would watch it on TV with my dad or whatever and remember some parts. But when I would look it on the computer on like WWE.com, it would have like highlights, and it was always like when Eddie and JBL was like a big rivalry, and like, you know what I mean. And then like, you know, towards his like passing and stuff like that. So I always wanted to be like Eddie when I grow up, you know.
Oh man, the storyline of Eddie and JBL when Eddie was just stealing everything from him and coming out in the lowrider and
Written beautifully. It was a beautifully written story at that time.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It captivated you as a kid, and also Eddie was just like, you know, he could do a lot of crazy stuff as well. So he just kind of, nobody was the whole package like he was. I don't think so.
True.
Agreed.
But
I appreciate JBL. I appreciate the fuck out of JBL now that I'm understand wrestling.
True. Yeah, you get when you think about it, you know, Eddie was only as good as his partner, right? Eddie was only as good as he was in the ring with and who was working with him. And those two put on just a great show together. It wasn't one individual, it was together.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. A lot of Ray and JBL too.
Yeah. So did anyone stand out that you said Eddie was, you know, you wanted to be like him? Was that the one that you thought, okay, I'm going to try and do this? I'm actually going to go and become a wrestler?
Oh, hell no. When I grow up, bro, I became like a regular person. I didn't start wrestling until I was like 23. I went to college. I got kicked out of college. I got a shitty job as a manager. I said, fuck that shit. I sold cars. Like, I did all kinds of just like, you know, regular. I was going to be a firefighter. You know what I mean? I still might go back to volunteer firefighting. That's like different. But yeah, dude, like, it wasn't until one of the guys from my high school ended up being at the WWA4, and he showed me the stuff, and I ended up going to one of his shows on the Indies and like signing up for the WWA4. So it was like a weird, like, I don't want to say F it, you know what I mean? But it was almost like I gotta like do this. It always was what I dreamed about. But to say that I like went for it or became obsessed like that, it didn't happen until later in life.
Nice. Now you mentioned your friend brought you to, WWA4, and that's where you started your training. Did you look at any other schools? Were there any around you, or this is where I'm going to go? This is the school for me.
It just, yeah, pretty much was just a school for me. I didn't do my research. I got lucky, man. I just kind of, not that all the other schools aren't awesome. They really are. I I didn't do my reading. And even when I started training, I wasn't like quote unquote obsessed. But then there was a day that day you're talking about when you were like, all right, like I'm for real obsessed with it. Like that happened into my wrestling career too, as I like grew with confidence and like, became more of like it's almost like a mentality too. Being a professional wrestler as opposed to being anything else in life is like a mentality. So I got obsessed with that too.
Yeah. What was that moment that you just spoke of? What happened?
I couldn't tell you exactly what. I just woke up one day and I was like, damn, I can really do this like forever, and I can make a lot of money, and I can, if I do this, you know what I mean? If I really work hard at it. Wrestling's one of those rare things. People say if you work hard in life, you'll be successful, but that shit ain't always necessarily true, especially with people's like careers and like, especially in the corporate world and blah, blah, blah. Like people get really bad misfortune all the time. I think it's like a bad like thing to say, but wrestling, one of those weird, like even high school wrestling was like that. Combat, maybe even there's other stuff, but you really do get what you put out of it. And once I seen that develop in people, like whoever it might be, like that kind of shows me that, okay, I can do this shit too. You know what I mean? Like I just got to work hard and be just as good as that, or be better than that guy. I work harder than that guy. You know what I mean? Like, or I
Yeah.
can. I mean, I should. I
It's
should have it in me too, you know.
and like that ongoing, you know, motivation internally is something that a lot of people that we talk to, you know, always mention. You know, you have to have that drive inside of you to really be able to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah, because this shit would suck if you didn't love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Truth.
Now, you mentioned that you were did high school wrestling. What was when you actually got into, you know, the A4 wrestling ring and you had that first bump? What was it like? Was it what you expected, or was it something totally different?
I guess it's something totally different from everything. Like it's such a weird like thing until you just do it. You know what I mean? I guess like, the answer is I wouldn't have known what to expect. So I guess it's nothing like anything I would have expected. Um, but yeah, it was tough. I mean, I didn't get to like the bump on the first day. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff to work on, so it's tough. Like finally getting back and getting that real good bump. You know what I mean? And now you can really like do moves and like that's like a big moment for you as a wrestler. So there's no world that you know what I mean.
Yeah. At A4, what was it like training and being trained by AR Fox?
Oh man, AR Fox is the man, dude. And I
Everybody
said I
says
got
that.
lucky. I got lucky. I didn't do my research. I didn't know AR Fox from anybody. I just very well. He's a very respectable person when he talked to him, and I liked the way he ran class, and I just fucking ran with it. And he turned out to be like one of the best wrestlers ever. He's such an incredible trainer. You know what I mean? I could go on for a million years. And I had no idea. That's what I'm saying. Like I just, you know what I mean. I could tell he knew what he was doing, but like I had no idea. When I see people react to him in the locker room, like all the time, it's crazy. Like I swear to God, I drove up to him like carefully, with to do the GCW match with Too Cold. And
Yeah.
there wasn't a single person and that even set foot on there that didn't come talk to Fox and like thank him for what he's done for them and this and that, man. I just see it more and more, and it's just crazy that I had no idea.
It's all, you know, it's great to hear so many of the people that we talk to that have come into contact with AR speak so highly of him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, we were talking about it before we started the interview about, you know, we all grew up and, you know, especially myself and Christopher, we watched, you know, your main promotions, your WWE, your WCW, you know, things like that. And we both feel like we so missed out on such an opportunity with getting way more involved with the independent wrestling. And AR Fox has that's who he is. I mean, he's been there, he's done everything. And it's like such such an honor to hear about all the people that he has helped along the way. So, you know, hopefully one day maybe we'll get AR on to interview. I don't know.
Oh man, yeah, get through his wife.
Yeah. Yep. I saw that in his bio.
2 to 3 business months.
So,
Nah, but he's hard to get a hold of, but he's a good man, for sure.
yeah. Now you had an event tonight. You were telling us before we got on air, there was a blackout, and you guys actually did the show in the dark.
Yeah, we didn't do the show we were pushing. Like that would have been. We put a lot of work into some of those matches, so we're gonna push those off to where we can do lights and have, you know, make it safe. You know what I mean? That kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But we did put together a couple of just fun, off the wall matches that mine was a little bit of like a horror movie, like it was just fun, man. It was like cinematic-y with like it was like Paranormal Activity-ish. Like that was like the vibe I was trying to get from it with like the cameras tonight.
Nice. Now, there aren't a lot of specifics, but one of the big reasons we're talking to you tonight is Action Wrestling has a show November 13th, Friday the 13th. Ooh, spooky.
Put two and two together.
Spooky. We don't have a lot of details about it yet, but are you? How much are you looking forward to getting back into the ring with Action for their next show?
Oh, I always look forward to Action so much, man. It's one of those shows that have proven to be worth it to me. You know what I mean? Like, definitely, you put in work there, and Matt has a way of paying it back to you, and I couldn't be more happy or grateful. It's like 15 minutes from my dad's house. You know what I mean? And that's cool. Not in COVID. My parents never get around to buying tickets online nowadays before we sell out our 35 tickets, but it's just such a cool thing, and I'm always learning there, and he's always giving me somebody that I can learn from, and he's just a person who likes to develop. Some people like to use talent to make money. Some people like to develop, and a lot of people that Matt have used have done a lot of cool stuff, and that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I look forward to being there. I felt you just said your parents don't usually get to get online and buy tickets. I apologize. I have one of those tickets, but I will be there November 13th. So
That's all good, man.
So
All good.
you mentioned developing talent, and we talked to a lot of wrestlers, and it's always a question of what's next. So that's kind of our next direction is where do you see yourself going? What are your goals as a wrestler?
Man, my goals, at least for me, I'll just say it like this: in the fortunate shoes that I am, I want to be in WWE, man. It's the goal I've dreamed about. You know what I mean? We said the WCW game, but I watched every single Friday Night SmackDown, every single Monday Night Raw for that little coming up part of when I was growing up. So, like, that's the goal, man. But I want to wrestle everywhere, too. You know what I mean? I really want to go to Mexico. I'm not sure how their borders are with COVID and shit, but I want to wrestle in Mexico. I want to do it all, man. I want to wrestle for AEW, too. I want to wrestle for Impact. You know what I mean? All of it. But I see myself in WWE. I see myself as a champion in WWE. I feel like I have that work ethic and can do it, you know?
Mm-hmm. What's that motivation that gets you? I mean, you mentioned a lot of different promotions. You mentioned a little bit of travel. Is that the motivation to just do a little bit of everything, or is there one piece of motivation that pushes you?
The travel is one thing I have. Obviously, I'm pretty biased towards Mexico. I want to go work there. But traveling is a cool part of it, but not just like this crazy period of time my life's in where I can go just full-fledged, like, do it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to putting all of my energy into it while I can towards the biggest goal. Does that make sense? Not the, you know what I mean? I don't want to get into what's bigger, but the biggest goal for me, that's where like all my energy is going. You know what I mean? So that it's easy to think. I'm a fortunate guy. You know, I can wake up in most days. Like y'all have seen, I work for myself or I go wrestle. You know what I mean? I'm a real fortunate person. So like if I'm in that part of my life now too. So like if, you know, what am I waiting for? You know what I mean? I'm not impatient at all. Like every day you get to wake up and do this shit is a blessing and a dream every day. And COVID taught us that shit can be taken away. So even more so now, I'm pretty gas pedal trying to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you mentioned one little thing in there, and just, you know, every day, it's almost just be ready. You know, just keep pushing, motivate yourself, and be ready, because eventually your number will get called, and you need to be ready.
Yeah.
And
100%.
if you're ready, the opportunity will be there, and you'll take it.
Absolutely, for sure. Fox gets us so ready, dude. And everybody's got their own resources and stuff too. But like that's the product we teach. That's like the goal we got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very like WWE oriented, because every style of wrestling takes a lot of fucking focus. You know what I mean? So that's our direction.
So let's get out of the ring for a little bit. you mentioned you're kind of, before you go to wrestling, you go to wrestle, you're doing other stuff, you're working, you're busting your butt. What are you doing for a hobby? What are you doing to just keep busy when you're not in a wrestling ring or not preparing to get in a wrestling ring?
Man, I wouldn't even, I don't, man, not a whole lot. I put a lot of effort in my life into learning Spanish, which I do for real, speak it fluently. That was something in my life, you know what I mean? A lot of, I was just bullshit, man. I thought I was pretending to go into college. I thought I wanted to make money or whatever. I didn't know what it was until, you know, I always knew in the back of my head, like, everybody's got that dream in the back of their head. Nine out of 10 people, and that shit was professional wrestling. And then I just seen people that really pursued it. And I guess there's something to be said about people seeing it. So if you can set a good example for somebody, fucking do it, because like somebody's gonna see that and be inspired. You know what I mean? Like that happened to me from somebody I know that started training and started having some independent shows. I was like, whoa, we can at least do that. And all I got to do is sign up for this place and work, you know? But I wasn't doing nothing, man. I ride dirt bikes. I like to ride dirt bikes.
There you
know
go.
what I mean?
All right.
I'd like to. I don't have a dirt bike right now, but yeah, that was the thing I like to do. I don't know, man. I was hang out, drink. You know,
Ride other people's dirt bikes. That's what we're doing
There you
right
go.
now.
Yeah, I like. I would ride other people's dirt bikes and be reckless. I wasn't doing shit, man. I was a nice guy, you know what I mean? But
Do you have any secret hobbies that might surprise people? Something that you're interested in? I mean, you said you taught yourself to speak Spanish fluently, but is there anything like out of the ordinary that we wouldn't guess that Bobby Flaco is a big fan of or does?
I really like snakes. I don't know if that's too out of the ordinary, but when I make it, bro, I'm gonna have one of the big yellow snakes, dude. Like
The boa
I don't
constrictor.
know how. One of those Burmese pythons. I'm gonna have a big
Ooh.
old enclosure for it, and it's gonna live an awesome, happy life with a lot of bunny rabbits.
You're giving Christopher the heebie-jeebies over here. I can see him
Yeah.
squirming.
I'm not a snake
Man,
guy. Nope.
Oh man, they're pretty much harmless, bro.
Yeah.
No, I believe you, but you can keep your snake and I'll be over here and you keep him and he'll have a nice life over there and I'll have a nice life over here.
Yeah. I like snakes and I hate cars. I don't like working on cars. I like driving them. I don't like working on them. That's about it, though.
Nice. Well, you're in the car right now. You're driving.
I'm posted up now. I pulled over now.
Oh, okay. Good.
We're
So
gonna do this safely.
So do you have any funny stories from being on the road, from traveling, something memorable like that you can tell us at least? We always say that, something that you can tell us about a road story.
Man, the road's wild. I don't know. I could tell some positive stories. There's funny ones, but I suck at telling funny stories because you got to put the punchline in the right spot and all that bullshit. But I could tell you some positive stories about positive people. I will tell you who's a road angel is Leon Ruff, Mr. New NXT signee. He is a road angel. Especially like with the skulk and stuff, like he had flight benefits, bro, and like the whole thing was putting in dues, right? And like before I was going to Evolve, like he would hop in the van and ride with these dudes on like 12, 13-hour trips. He didn't have to fucking be on driving and stuff like that. And dealing with everybody's got to deal with everybody's bullshit on the road, you know what I mean? But there was one instance where somebody was basically like, there's too many people in the room and so-and-so got to go. Like, I'm sorry. Like, but there's like 13 of us in here. And like Ruff kind of just walked outside and like he had got a room for his performance by the time he was signed or whatever. And he gave his room to like he gave his whole, like his bed, you know what I mean? His spot to one of our guys who really needed it, you know what I mean? And it just drove an long trip. And he's just he just looks out for people, you know what I mean? He knows that shit can get rough when you're out driving for hours and hours and stuff like that. He's a good man. A lot of people I came up with are really good. I'm real fortunate to come up with the people I did for sure.
See, I like that twist on the road stories. You know, everybody
Yeah.
usually tells us like something funny that happened or something weird that happened, but I like the positive spin of, you know, someone going out of their way to do something good for somebody else.
Yeah, it was the first thing that came to my mind when you said it. So I was like, that would be the easiest thing to say. So
There you go. Now, I'm going to backtrack a little bit here before we get to some of your favorites. But I mean, we've mentioned WWE. You just mentioned, you know, Leon getting signed with NXT. Now, you did have a little bit of a 205 Live appearance.
oh,
What was that opportunity like for you?
it was awesome, man. It was it was pretty last minute, and it was, you know, trip adjusting trip, but you know me, man. I don't. Well, maybe you don't, but yeah, I'll stay anywhere. I'll hop in the van and stay in Florida till I die if I need to wrestle at WWE. But I was there doing extra work for 2 weeks in a row. I was lucky enough to get to do that, for that little R-Truth segment or whatever. And I was just talking to the people who make, you know, the person who told me to come in the first place. And I was like, I'm going to be here, bro, you know? What I was telling him was between those 2 Mondays, you know what I mean? I got to be here till this next Monday. So, you know, just let you know. And then it was actually after, basically I ended up getting texted later asking if I could be there on Friday. And that wasn't even like guaranteed, but everything started to like come into fruition, and by the time it just happened, you know. And I've been struggling with blood pressure because them doctors ain't no joke up there, bro. You got, for real, like, and I get
Others have
nervous.
said that too.
Yeah.
I get nervous, man. They call it white coat syndrome or whatever, but I was able to go eat some steak lunch and get my blood pressure down and wrestle for 205. Man, it was sick.
Nice.
It was a lot of, it was, yeah, real rewarding, dude. Like, for sure, being at Thunderdome was cool.
And that's exactly, you know, what you said before, Christopher, being ready and being at the right place at the right time
Absolutely.
and getting that opportunity. So hopefully, you know, WWE comes a calling again and they get you back in there. But now we're going to talk some favorites.
All right.
So first thing I'm going to ask is, outside of Georgia, what's your favorite place to wrestle in?
My favorite place to wrestle is ACW, man. It's not like no, it's definitely my favorite place to go, for sure.
Nice.
Outside of Georgia, there's so many. I was thinking real close to Florida. My favorite place to go is La Boom in Queens, New York, man. I only wrestled there once, but I did stuff with the sculpt there a lot. And I don't know if you watched Evolve shows at La Boom. They're awesome.
Nice.
It's a wild environment.
New York is our old neck of the woods for Christopher and myself.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's cool.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, go ahead.
La Boom, or like, I like doing ACW a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a promotion, an indie promotion that you haven't had a chance to wrestle with yet that you would love to go wrestle for?
Oh man, you know.
Bobby's like, I wouldn't turn down any of them.
Yeah, he's gonna rattle off like 34 different promotions right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of them going on for sure. And to be honest, and to not put my foot in my mouth, maybe, you know, maybe I say one favorite, and who knows, it's not even going to exist later. I'm just watching. I'm like watching everything. My method of going about that, I suck at doing emails and stuff like that. So when I do decide the answer to your question, I'm just going to like pull up and start helping with the ring or something. But yeah, there's so many good. I mean, obviously GCW is the big dogs and stuff like that, but there's just so many good ones, and there's so much that I'm uneducated. To be honest, that I'm uneducated on, that I got to catch up on, and just whenever my free time is, blah 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 blah. You know.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Whoever comes calling, that's the answer.
Yeah. Well, I like the independent wrestling network shows. You know, that's obviously a good thing to be a part of.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so far in your career, who has been your favorite opponent?
Oh man, such a good question. Such a good like favorite like match or like favorite like I've wrestled this guy a couple times. Like favorite opponent. Like
It could be either. I
that's a
mean,
tough question on one word.
it is. It's a loaded question. I would say
Yeah.
it could be either. You know,
Yeah.
whichever you know person that you've had the most fun in the ring with, person that has taught you the most in the ring while you've been in a match. You know,
Right.
whichever.
I have the most fun with Cabron Canyon, man. We're a team, dude. I have a lot of fun with him as a tag team and wrestling him too. He's a very, very underrated man. For sure. He's a very intelligent wrestler. And it's always fun to work with him. His instincts are rock solid, so you can throw you can throw some shit against the fan and it's gonna stick because he knows a lot about professional wrestling. For sure. I learned so much anytime I wrestle Fox. For sure, it's just bro. Anytime I manage Fox with the Skulk or whatever, and I learned so much watching those matches, bro. So he's obviously got a huge amount of influence. And my favorite match is my match with Kurt Stallion, and I also learned an incredible amount during that match as well.
Nice.
So yeah, those are my favorite guys for sure.
Sweet. Favorite music to listen to while you're in the car driving?
My favorite like music, a couple of them. Like I like a lot of different types of Spanish music. I'm really listening to Spanish cumbia right now. It's just like fun, clean up the kitchen music. I don't know how else to describe it.
I have never heard that reference, and I love it.
Yeah, it's like turn that shit up real loud, and got a cup of coffee, and somebody's coming over later, so you got to clean up.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I like to listen to like I do like heavy metal. I don't I'm not necessarily like about that life or whatever, but I fucking love a lot of heavy metal songs. I like underground rap now. Any mainstream rapper is a rapper I used to like. I don't really like mainstream rap, but there's a lot of fun underground rap that I do like to listen to. It gets your blood flowing for wrestling. On road trips, I listen to stand-up comedy. That shit is relaxing.
Ooh. Who do you enjoy listening to?
I have two stations, Pandora, and because Pandora makes it easy. You don't gotta be like touching. I don't have all those advanced apps, so like on YouTube it's cool, but like Pandora music, Pandora music's not with it. But Pandora stand up, for those of you who don't know, Pandora stand up is awesome.
Nice.
My station, I have like a Joe Rogan station, but it's like influenced by like Ron White and George Lopez, and it's like a mixture. And I got one more station that's a guy called Alex Raymundo, who's like just a Spanish comedian, and it's like got a lot of mixture there too. And it's never horrible. You know what I mean? It's something to listen to, something new you probably haven't heard yet.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Okay, so we're driving. We're listening to clean up the kitchen music. We're jamming. Yep. All of a sudden, it's lunchtime. Where are you going for lunch? What's your go-to place when you're traveling?
Oh man, it's got to be one. If I'm traveling and it's like a road trip thing, it's got to be like one of those pilots with. It's got to be one of those pilots with like something there, like a pilot with like a Steak and Shake or like an Arby's. Those aren't necessarily my favorite places, but I mean they're good places. But like what I'm saying is they got the good coffee at the gas station. You got a full ass gas station. You got everything you need. You're gonna have good coffee, probably some good chocolate milk there, because all gas stations don't have the same chocolate milk. So you got to take that into account when you're stopping for food.
That is 100% true.
Man, yeah, like this, like an efficient traveler. You could hear it. Like he is efficient with his traveling. He knows exactly we're going to stop. We're going to stop at the place that has everything. We're not going to waste any extra time stopping another time. It's going to be a one stop and do everything.
Because if we do that, then we don't got to be all tight and rush during the stop.
There you go. There you go.
Like, you don't got to be no rush if we're not making 1,000 fucking stops. Dude, I promise you, I left Clearwater, Florida this morning, and got to Georgia. I stopped once. Just cause,
Man after my own heart, right there. One stop.
just
That's
because
it.
had to get it done, man. You know, you had to get to the school, find out there was no lights.
Oh, that's
man.
terrible. Okay,
Yeah.
so now we're gonna go to the last of the favorites here, and it's gonna be in an arena with lights. There's gonna be no hurricane going on. Who is your dream match against?
That's a good one. That is a good one. Right now, if we're talking like right now, man, I don't know. Maybe like Randy Orton or like Triple H or something like that. Someone who I could get like the absolute. Maybe it's not like my favorite wrestler, but someone I get like the most out of it. You know.
Yeah, just learn from them in the ring.
Yeah, like Randy Orton would be awesome because he's still on fire right now, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, if it's somebody who's there now, or who's doing shit right now.
All right. So after you get RKO'd, we're gonna get to the last two questions here.
All right. Yeah, he's gonna hit me with it out of nowhere.
Oh, I mean, but that's not a bad thing. Like I think I had mentioned that to another one of our guests that like, you know, wouldn't you want Chris Jericho? Which finisher would you want Chris Jericho to put on you, and you tap out to, or you get pinned by? Like, how do you want to lose to a wrestler? That's not a bad thing. Like, I'd be honored to take an RKO and get pinned by Randy Orton. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
there's no bad with that.
Like a rite of passage.
Yes, most definitely. Speaking of rites of passage, we have a new question that we like to ask everybody. So you're Bobby Flaco today, and you get to speak to 10-year-old Bobby. What are you going to let 10-year-old Bobby know?
Going to college isn't going to save your life. I think that's what I would say. I don't know. I would say that you can do anything you want to. I knew I was always told that as a kid. So, like, and I feel like I always should think that, but somebody else needed to say it too. Like, I don't know. Just you can do whatever you want, regardless of any. You know what I mean? You can wake up every day and do what you want, or at least you should strive to. That's what I would say.
There you go.
I like it.
So we've arrived. We are at the most important question. You know what? No. The only important question we're going to ask you tonight. We want to let you get back on the road. We appreciate you stopping by and talking to us. But we need this answer, and it needs to be the right one. So everybody gets asked this question that comes on our show. Would you prefer a single original Oreo or a double stuff Oreo?
Is the one of them relevant? Because I feel like it's relevant. Is it just one? Is that because are we talking about a box of them or like a bag of them or whatever, or like just one?
Oh no,
like
you can have a whole package.
Oh, regular Oreos, bro. There's too much. Yeah, I want to burn through them. I want to eat a bunch of regular Oreos. I don't want to play with the whites. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I would, if it was one, I would eat the stuffed one just to get more out of it. But yeah, if it's like the whole thing, I'm gonna That
is an interesting point.
Yes, that is. Bobby just brought up probably the most intriguing extra to the Oreo cookie question is if it's just a 1-to-1, am I just able to have one cookie? Which one am I picking? Or am I eating multiple?
But no one has one single Oreo. Like when you sit down to eat Oreos, you have multiple Oreos.
True, but
all right.
I mean,
so let's rephrase this, Bobby, because I need this to be clear. So, do you prefer 10 single Oreos, 10 single stuff Oreos, or 10 double stuff Oreos? What would your preference be?
10 singles, brother. 10 singles. Symbols.
Well, Bobby, we had a lot of
of.
fun, but you definitely answered that wrong. We still appreciate you,
Ah,
but no, Bobby.
I was close to doing good.
Everyone's allowed their preference. Everyone's allowed their Oreo preference, even if it's the wrong answer. So we'll allow it. But Bobby, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you stopping by on the road here with us. Where can everybody find you in the social media world, and where can everybody find you soon out there in the wrestling world?
The social media is my Facebook just says Bobby Flaco. There's 2 of them, but if you look, and the post is from not a couple of years ago, then that's it.
That one definitely confused me when I was doing some research. I was like, wait, which Bobby Flaco is it?
I lost my passwords and I can't. I've tried to spam myself. I can't get myself banned from Facebook on that other one, but I can't get back into it because I lost passwords.
Yeah.
But my Instagram is Bob's _ here 4 or Bob's here 4. One of those, you'll see it. There's also 2, but the one that says Bob's here is the one. And my Twitter is Bobby Flaco WWA4. I've remembered my Twitter password, so. So that's that. Man, I really appreciate y'all, man.
No, Bobby, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you taking the time and being safe in the middle of the hurricane and down trees and the blackout down in Georgia. So thank you so much.
No worries. Yeah, but just pulled over so we could party. Yeah, appreciate y'all, man. This is an awesome show. Y'all did an awesome job. I appreciate it.
Oh, we only as good as our guests, Bobby. So thank you. We appreciate your time. We will see you November 13th at Action Wrestling.
All right. Ew.
Ew.
Ew. You can follow Bobby Flaco on Twitter at Bobby Flaco WWA4, on Instagram at Bob's _here4_. And he's on Facebook too. You can catch him there at Bobby.Flaco.75. Merchandise? Check out Pro Wrestling Tees /Bobby Flaco 4. Visit IWTV.live today to watch these great Action wrestling events, plus numerous other archive shows from Action and other great independent promotions. Use code ACTION for a free 5-day trial. Don't miss out. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Bald Monkeys. Watch us live on our new Twitch channel, twitch.tv/The Bald Monkeys.